Two teams having already met in the league here. The first match of the season, Featherstone Rovers astounding everybody, but beating Castleford against all the odds. And just looking down here, Paul Newell, who did make his debut in that international match yesterday, wearing the number 4 shirt. The youngest ever international to play, beat Sean Edwards' record. So here we go, Derek Fox get this game underway. Number 13 there, Johnny Joyner, getting that straight from the kick-off there. And number 12 there for Featherstone Rovers, Glenn Booth, missing the tackle straight away, the first tackle of the match. So it's Castleford now, trying to bring the ball away from acting half-back. But Glenn Bell there, Jeff Grayson in at the tackle. So that's a quick play of the ball there from Kevin Beardmore. Referee says play on, that's the third tackle. So ball back there to Graham Stedman, ex-Featherstone Rovers favourite Graham Stedman. So Chris Bibb there just taking his time picking that ball up there, and that's how bad this surface is here at Weldon Road, heavy rain as I've said previously. So Chris Bibb gets up to play the ball, Mark Napper now trying to bring it out of his own 25-yard area, but that's good tackling by Castleford. So it's either a party from acting half-back, that's good running that by the New Zealand centre, being tackled there by Andy Clark. Castleford number 8, so it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Peter Smith, but tackled there by his opposite number there, John Joyner. Very two experienced campaigners, these two loose forwards. Both Peter Smith and John Joyner. Ball back there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, that big kick downfield. Stevie Lyder coming after this ball, having to check his stride, and the ball just skipping by him on this greasy service. Phil Ladd, Stevie Lyder there, but slipping just as Derek Fox were going to make the tackle. So it's St John Ellis. Castleford signed this player on from York. And that's good tackling that by Gary Price. Driving him back with the ball. Still in this first 2 minutes of this game. Side yet to score. David Plange trying to come down the middle, but Glenn Bell there half stopping him. Gary Price making sure of the tackle. Now it's Martin Ketchers with the ball, trying to take Derek Fox on, but Derek Fox straight round the bootlaces. Picking his man up there, so it's Gary French now. Gary French there, ball back once again to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman kicking into empty spaces, making Chris Bibb run across for the ball. Chris Bibb there just taking his time, picking that loose ball up, trying to bring it out, but John Joyner there makes the tackle. That's good play that by Chris Bibb, beating one man, but John Joyner getting across to make the tackle. So it's Peter Smith there knocking that ball on, and it's all on Castleford advantage. Featherstone Rovers slow to get to that ball after Peter Smith knocked the ball on. Now it's Graham Stedman now. Number 4 there, Sean Irwin, but Paul Newell wrapping him up. Is it Sean Irwin? No, it's Tony Smith. Tony Smith playing number 4, so it's Gary French now. Gary French trying to go through 2 tacklers, but Jeff Grayson there, and number 10 there, Glenn Bell wrapping him up. Plays the ball back. Now it's Kevin Beardmore from acting half-back now, but Glenn Bell there watching that movement. That's good tackling by Glenn Bell. Now it's Keith Lee England trying to get that ball away, and Peter Smith diving on that loose ball. That's a bad mistake that by Keith England. Peter Smith diving on that loose ball, so it's Derek Fox now trying to bring the ball away, but tackled there by Andy Clark. So it's Trevor Clark now from acting half back there to Glenn Bell, but once again Andy Clark doing his tackling stint in this first 5 minutes of play, made the tackle. So it's Trevor Clark now going from acting half back, trying to straighten up, but Kevin Ward there wrapping him up. Playing in the number 12 shirt this afternoon, usually plays in number 8, but ball back there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, that big kick downfield. And David Plange there knocking that ball on. Referee right on the spot there, Mr. Morris. So it'll be a scrum down, the first scrum of the match, just about a yard inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. It'll be Derek Fox to feed this scrum. So there we go, the ball's in its heart to Featherstone Rovers. Derek Fox there to Ian Smales there to Eva Party. But Eva Party there, caught in possession there, back tackle there by his opposite number there, Sean Irwin. But Sean Irwin there tackled Eva Party. Sean Irwin there looked offside there at that play of the ball, but referee says play on. So it's Derek Fox now there to Ian Smales, trying to come down the middle, but number 12 there, Kevin Ward, wrapping him up. Just about a yard inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. So it's Derek Fox there to Peter Smith, back there to Derek Fox. Well, that's good tackling that by John Joyner, pushing Derek Fox back from that play of the ball. So it's Peter Smith there to Jeff Grayson to Ian Smales. That's a good kick by Ian Smales. Finding touch just about on that Castleford 25-yard line. So the second scrum of the match, it'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. Still Castleford 0, Featherstone Rovers 0. Both sides just feeling each other out. Both sets of forwards there trying to dominate this game, trying to get on top in these first few minutes. The ball's in, Jeff Drake's not down in the pack, but the referee says play on. Now it's St John Ellis there coming into the line. St John Ellis there trying to take Paul Newell on, but Paul Newell there rolling him over in the tackle. That's the first tackle. Now it's Tony Smith from acting our pack now. Tony Smith there trying to go down Paul Newell, but Paul Newell there just grabs hold of his shorts. Makes the tackle, helped out there by Gary Price. Now it's Kevin Beardmore back inside there to Beefy England. Beefy England trying to go down the middle, but that's good tackling. Once again, Gary Price on below and Glenn Booth on top. Now it's Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward there taking Jeff Grayson on, trying to get that ball back there. That's good play there. That's good play there to number 1 there, Stevie Larder. But Steve Larder there, tackled there by number 7, Derek Fox. All that coming with that Kevin Ward. Over it pass. Now it's Gary French trying to come down the middle. Gary French taking him on. Gets that ball back inside there to Martin Ketridge. Martin Ketridge going down the middle. Good tackle that by Gary Price again, saving the day for Featherstone Rovers. Castleford quick to play that ball. Referee there, Andy Clark there with the ball. Well, that's the 6th and last tackle. The ball hitting Derek Fox on that last tackle, but the ball hitting him instead of Derek Fox playing the ball, so the referee are judging the last tackle. So it's Glenn Booth there trying to come down the middle, but Martin Ketridge making the tackle. Gets up, plays the ball. Jeff Grayson now to Glenn Bell. But Kevin Beardmore there sticking to his task, bringing Glenn Bell down 10 yards inside. Featherstone over out of the field. It'll be Derek Fox with that ball. Derek Fox there. The referee are judging Derek Fox knocking that ball on. So it'll be a scrum down 15 yards inside Featherstone Rovers. Half of the field. It'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. So the ball's in, it's hard to Gary French there. Gary French there, using the arm side. Gary French there, nearly through the tackle there, but Peter Smith, beautiful tackle by Peter. Now it's Graham Stemman taking this defence on. Graham Stemman there trying to go down the middle, but Peter Smith once again making the tackle. That's the second tackle. Now it's John Johnny with the ball there, that run around there to Martin Ketridge. Martin Ketridge there taking Paul Newell on there to whip Keith England. But Keith England there wrapped up by Gary Price. Plays the ball back, Kevin Beardmore now there to number 13, Johnny Johnny there to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward there, pushes one man off, still going Kevin Ward, trying to get that loose ball out there to Gary French. Referee says play on, the ball went back, so it's Kevin Ward here from acting half back now there to John Johnny. John Johnny, that long ball out there to Sean Irwin, scores the try! Beautiful ball there from John Johnny to Sean Irwin, and Sean Irwin just skated in at the corner. Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. Castleford seem to have had all the play. Featherstone yet to get in that to that Castleford half of the field. And that try there by Sean Irwin. Kevin Ward acting half back, throw a long ball out there to John John, and John John are there finding Sean Irwin racing through the gap to plant the ball over that Featherstone Rovers try line. And this conversion to come yet from Graham Stedman. Here we go, just about 5 yards in from that far touchline side. Here we go, strikes the ball. But well wide of the post, so the score remains Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. So there we go, Derek Fox restarting this game. Ball's bounding, St John Ellis there just playing safe, taps it with his feet, so he's bringing it out. Trying to run it out now, trying to come down the middle, but Derek Fox there making the tackle. That's good play by St John Ellis to Stevie Larder. Stevie Larder taking Chris Bibb on. Stevie Larder still going, Chris Bibb there getting across. Floats a long ball out there, but David Plans there straight over his head. And just looking back there, Chris Bibb wasn't the last line of defence. Trevor Clark there fastening his bootlaces behind Chris Bibb, but that's marvellous play that by St John Ellis there. Taking that ball there from that Derek Fox kick-off there, coming straight down the middle, finding Stevie Larder in support down the middle. Chris Bibb taking Stevie Larder on, and Stevie Larder there throwing a wild pass out. Well, the ball going well, way above. David plunging it, so it's Derek Fox getting that ball from the scrum now to Ian Smales there, to Ivor Party. But Ivor Party there trying to step out of tackles. Well, that's good tackling that by Sean Irwin below and Stevie Larder on top. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now, trying to come down the middle, but no way through. Stevie Larder there just telling his Castleford teammate there, Gary French, to get back. So Ian Smales there having to dummy there from acting half back. Ian Smales there shouting for his forwards to come for that ball. So it's Glenn Bell now, he's trying to run it in. But tackle there about 10 yards short of the halfway line. Martin Kettridge making the tackle, so it's Derek Fox now there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson there trying to stand up in the tackle to get rid of the ball, but that's good tackling by Castleford. Once again, Martin Kettridge stopping man and ball. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox trying to kick there, fooling the Castleford men there. Castleford there moving up very quickly indeed, but the ball just rolling there, so it'll be a tap for Castleford on their own 25-yard line. Castleford been in these Yorkshire Cup final these last 4 seasons. John Jones having played in all of them. In fact, John Jones having played in 6 Yorkshire Cup finals. A tremendous record that by the Castleford captain. And that's a bad mistake, and it's all on. So Glenn Bell after that ball. But got pick up there by Steve Larder. Fantastic play by the Castleford fullback. Oh, that's brilliant play there. That ball there to David Plants. David Plants trying to come down the middle. And once again, that's good play by the Castleford fullback all the way from Illawarra in Australia. Now it's Gary French down the middle, but that's good tackling there by Gary Price. But the ball forward, Kevin Beardmore there getting that ball in a forward position. Referee there, Mr. Morris, right on top of play. So once again, it'll be a scrum down. About 10 yards short of that Castleford 25-yard line. Derek Fox feeding the scrum. And it's a bad mistake. Castleford man seemed to get that ball from the pack. Number 13 there, Johnny Joyner, trying to drop on that ball, but he knocked the ball on round the base of the scrum. So once again, it'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. The ball's in, it's out to Derek Fox there, to Ian Smales. Taking Gary French on, but beautiful tackle that by Gary French, gets up, plays the ball. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith, that little dummy, trying to go down the middle. But that's good tackling there by number 8, Andy Clark. So it's Trevor Clark there, trying to go from acting half-back to Glenn Bell overrunning the ball. So Peter Smith now from acting half-back there to Derek Fox there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson there throwing that wild ball out there, Tony Smith intercepting. But Paul Newell there makes the tackle on his opposite number. So it's St John Ellis there going from acting half-back, but Paul Newell there and Glenn both brings him to the floor. That's the second tackle. So it's Kevin Beardmore now in to play the ball there, but that's good tackling that by Gary Price on number 10 there, Keith England. So once again, Kevin Beardmore there to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward there trying to go down the middle, but Trevor Clark there sticking to his guns. Brings him down, but not before he passes that ball out. Now it's Jeff Grayson going down the middle. It's number 13, Johnny Joyner, but number 12 there, Glenn Bulf makes the tackle. So once again, that ball there to Graham Stemman, that big up and under, Graham Stemman following his own kick up, it's a marvellous kick by Graham Stemman. And it's a knock on, is that. The man's got to come back, Graham Stemman knocking that ball on. Absolutely fantastic kick that by Graham Stemman, testing Chris Bibb out. And Graham Stemman there following his own kick up. Just jumping a bit higher there than Chris Bibb, but knocking the ball on before Martin Kettridge put that ball over that Featherstone Rovers try line. So the scrum down, so it's a scrum down, Featherstone Rovers there, Ian Smales there with the ball there, taking Graham Stemman on, but Graham Stemman throws him to the floor. So it's Eva the Party now, going from acting half back, Eva the Party taking his man on, Eva the Party taking the ball on, Eva the Party losing that ball on the second tackle. So it'll be a scrum down about 10 yards inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. It'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. It's still Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. Featherstone Rovers yet to find a pattern in this game. The game's about 15 minutes old, so it's Gary French with the ball there from the base of the scrum to Sean Irwin there taking over the part on. That ball there to Tony Smith there, but Paul Newell there just throws him to the floor. Chris Bibb makes sure of the tackle. Now it's Steve Larder going from acting half back there, but Chris Bibb there, his opposite number, fastens him up. So it's Tony Smith there now to Gary French to Graham Stemman losing that long wide ball there, but that's no way through there. Number 12 there, Glenn Bulf making the tackle. Gets up, so it's Kevin Ward there to Gary French there turning round. That's what they're playing. Kevin Ward for in the second row where he can get rid of that ball in the tackle. So it's John Joyner there looking for the wide ball out there, but Glenn Bell there making the tackle. That's good tackling by the Rovers, number 10 there, Glenn Bell. Now it's Kevin Bainmore now there to number 1, Steve Larder. Steve Larder, that big up and under, it looks like a mile wide does that unless the ball bounces Orchard. And just look at that bounce there, Barry Drummond there. But Barry Drummond get that ball. That's good play by the Rovers number 2, but that bounce there. And there we go, the ball just rolling dead there. That's a bad mistake by Castleford kicking that ball through. But once again, that's Steve Larder, big up and under, that bad bounce there for Chris Bibb. The ball seemed to bounce on the end of the ball there and bounce back in play. So good job Barry Drummond there to Featherstone over to save the day. Now it's Glenn Bull trying to come down the middle. But Kevin Ward there tackling above, making his weight tell. So it's Trevor Clark now from acting half back there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell trying to come down the middle. That's good running by Glenn Bell, but too many tackles in the way there. Number 8, Andy Clark making the tackle. Now it's Jeff Grayson there trying to pop that ball up there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox coming down the middle. Derek Fox there taking his up in number 9. Gary French, but that's good play that by Jeff Grayson, Derek Fox. Now it's Trevor Clark now there to Ian Smells. Ian Smells there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith having to turn back inside. But Castleford still sticking to the task. It's still Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now, changing direction, just trying to put that ball into that touch there. That's good play by the Rovers captain there, Derek Fox. Saw David Plange way off his line there, so just kicked the ball over his head there. The ball just bouncing into touch halfway between the Castleford try line and the Castleford 25-yard line. It'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. So there we go, this scrum's going to Ed, so it's Ian Smiles there, just getting over his opposite number there. Graham Stedman pulls him down to the floor. Now it's Steve Larder now going from acting half-back. And that's good tackling that by Peter Smith. Is it Steve Larder or Sean Irwin it was, so it's Martin Kettridge now, but Gary Price there, that's good tackling by Gary Price. Getting through a tremendous amount of tackling the Rovers number 11 this afternoon. Been out through injured, and there we are, Gary Price there again, but Kevin Ward gets that ball away there to Gary French, and that's a terrible mistake. A knock-on given there. No advantage given. Castleford played the ball second time, so that's a bad mistake, that Kevin Ward long ball. So it'll be a scrum down just about on that Castleford 25-yard line with Derek Fox to feed this scrum. So once again, Jeff Drake's not down the pack, but referee says play on, so it's Ian Smells now. Ian Smells trying to dodge. Ian Smells dodges round 1. Number 13 there, missed Ian Smells first time. So it's Trevor Clark now there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith trying to drive towards them posts, but that's good tackling that by Martin Kettridge, spotting the danger. So it's Trevor Clark now there, back to back there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell nearly out. Glenn Bell there, has he scored the try? Glenn Bell there scored the try. John Joyner there and Martin Kettridge both on the hands and knees. Looks at Glenn Bell as if to say, how did you do that? But Glenn Bell showed him how to do it. He just turned around and said, you should tackle me. And he went straight between John Joyner and Martin Kettridge there to plant that ball over that try line for Glenn Bell's. I think it's his first try of the season, but it doesn't matter to Featherstone. So it's Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 4. So we are Martin Napper. Can he put Featherstone Rovers in front, and the ball just wide of the post. Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 4.
Well, John, it seems to be following a similar pattern to the first cup match at Post Office Road. John, Castleford dominated for the first 20 minutes. They took a 6-0 lead through 3 penalty goals. It was a similar start, and then Rovers have come back into it just as they did at Post Office Road. It can go any way, John, but I feel confident for Featherstone this afternoon.
Oh, there we go, Terry Mullaney there just giving his view on the game. So it's Mark Napper here taking that ball there. But that's good tackling. Both number 8 and number 10 there, Andy Clark and Keith England pushing Mark Napper back, but Mark Napper stuck hold of that ball there. So it's Gary Price there trying to come out of his own 25-yard line. It's Castleford 4, Featherstone Rovers 4. A try apiece to both teams. So it's Glenn Bell with the ball now. The same as Teddy's just said, Castleford seemed to have got the initiative in the first 15 minutes, but Featherstone Rovers come back strongly. The ball there back to Ian Smiles. Ian Smiles will put that ball high in the air. Steve Larder coming for that ball. Takes it first bounce on his own 25-yard line. But Steve Larder there trying to take Paul Newlove on, but Paul Newlove, brilliant. Paul there throws him to the ground. So it's Castleford now, St John Ellis there from acting half-back, throw the gap, that's good play by St John Ellis going round. Derry Fox, St John Ellis on a long run there, but that's good play by Trevor Clark, getting back. What a marvellous run there by the Castleford wingman. Absolutely marvellous. Steve Larder now there to Graham Stedman there to number 10 Keith England there to Gary French. Gary French through the gap, coming back inside. But once again, Featherstone Rovers must organise themselves. Brilliant play that by the Castleford number 5. Now it's another Castleford play. Graham Stedman. Great tap ball over the try line to score the try against his old enemy. Graham Stedman, I'm sure he'll savour that try there, scoring in the Yorkshire Cup semi-final against his old enemy, his old teammates there, but no teammates on that field. Graham Stedman's put Castleford back in front by 8 points to 4. New goal kicker here, St John Ellis. Kicked many a goal in the York colours. This to put Castleford 6 points in front. Here he goes, strikes the ball well. With the ball going and the ball straight between the middle. Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. Now we can hear the Castleford roar. First they're shouting Featherstone on, then they're shouting Castleford on. This game's really hotting up now. So Derek Fox getting this game restarted. But Tony Smith there taking that first bounce. Trying to bring the ball away. But Paul Newell there making the tackle on his opposite number. Gets up, quick play the ball there. Gary French with the ball now there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman there to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward trying to come down the middle. But Glenn Bell there making the tackle. Trevor Clark below. Glenn Bell on top. So Kevin Beardmore there to big number 8 there, but that's good tackling that by Gary Price. Gets up, plays the ball. Kevin Beardmore there, the ball back there to Graham Stedman. Big bulk downfield. Graham Stedman there trying to kick the ball into empty space, and that bad bounce again over Chris Bibb's head, but Chris Bibb taking that ball second time on the bounce, but they're being tackled just about 15 or 16 yards from his own try line. So it's Derek Fox now with the ball now there to Ivor Party trying to come down the middle. Well, that's good tackling that by Graham Stedman. Tony Smith helping out. Gets up, plays the ball. So Paul Newell now trying to bring the ball out in his own half a bit. Paul Newell trying to straighten up. That's good play by the Rovers centre, Paul Newell. Keith England there making the tackle. So it's Barry Drummond there now to Derek Fox. And there we go. The first offside of the match. Awarded to Featherstone Rovers. Derek Fox there. Running across field with the ball in his hands. So there we are, that ball well into touch, 10 yards inside Castleford half of the field, and just looking round behind the sticks there, St John's ambulance there on there with the stretcher. Looks like a bit of crowd trouble behind the back of the sticks. Anyway, back to the play now, so it's Glenn Bell there pushing one man off. But Kevin Walk coming in to make the tackle, so it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson back inside there to Gary Price. Gary Price back there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb trying to go down the middle, but Gary French there making the tackle. Chris Bibb gets up, plays the ball now to Glenn Booth there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Ian Smells. Ian Smells taking him on. Ian Smells going down, ball back inside there to Gary Price. Gary Price there to Ivor Party. Ivor Party trying to straighten up. That's beautiful play that by Ian Smells and Gary Price. So Trevor Clark now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Paul Newell. Paul Newell trying to fight his way out of tackles. Just about 2 yards short of that Castleford try line. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox to Glenn Bell there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there, that long ball out there. And the ball here hitting Glenn Booth there from that Jeff Grayson pass. It's a knock on. So there we are, a bit of excitement there for Featherstone Rovers supporters, but Castleford weathering the storm. It's a scrum down about 15 yards short of that Castleford try line. Gary French with the ball, that's the first tackle. Now it's John Jonas' turn to bring it away, but once again number 12 there, Glenn Booth making the tackle, that's the second tackle. But the ball now there to Martin Ketridge, trying to come down the middle, but number 11 there once again, Gary Price. Tremendous amount of tackling, Gary Price again, getting through in this match. Now this is good play now, Tony Smith here taking his own, and it's a bad mistake there, Barry Drummond getting that ball, just couldn't get to his feet there, Barry Drummond. Castleford making a mess of that, Tony Smith there trying to pass that ball under different circumstances. Now it's Paul Newell with the ball here, trying to dance under tackles, but Paul Newell there tackled just short of that Castleford 25-yard line. Andy Clark making the tackle, now it's Glenn Bell with the ball. Glenn Bell there trying to jump through 2 tackles, but wisely sticking hold of the ball. So it's Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Peter Smith, back inside there to Gary Price. Gary Price there taking Steve Larder on 2 for 3 over the party. But good tackling that by Steve Larder. Marvellous cover tackle that by the Castleford number 1 there on either the party. But that was good play, that Gary Price there, opening the Castleford defence up. Putting either the party away on the wing, but Stevie Larder there, try saving tackle on the Rovers number 3. That's saving the day for Castleford. So once again the ball's in, it's out to Gary French at that base of the scrum. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it's number 2 there, David Planch, trying to bring the ball out of his own 25-yard line. Autocries from the Castleford supporters saying get him onside, but referee right with good play. Martin Ketchage there, that's good play by Martin Ketchage, and Paul Newell getting that ball there. Paul Newell just couldn't get that ball away there to Derek Fox. Barry Drummond unmarked here on the wing. So it's Derek Fox for the ball now, back inside there to Eva the Party trying to go down the middle. Well, it's all systems go here at Castleford. First it's one way, then the other. This game's really hotting up. Jeff Jason with the ball now there. It's all on there. Who's got that ball? Castleford there, pinching that ball in possession there. Glenn Booth there, knocking the ball on, trying to bend down to pick the ball up. And referee there just stopping play. Number 11, Martin Kettridge, receiving treatment. So a couple of chances here for Featherstone, but Castleford saving the day. Late try saving tackles in them 2 incidents. So it's Kevin Ward now trying to come down the middle. But Ivor Party there and Trevor Clark making the tackle. So it's Kevin Beardmore, ball back there to Graham Stenman. And referee this time catching Featherstone Rovers offside of that play of the ball. Penalty kick to Castleford. Here we go, Graham Stenman, that big boot to touch there. Brings play up to Featherstone Rovers 25-yard line. Now it's up to Featherstone Rovers to tackle like Castleford have just tackled. Keep Castleford from scoring. Now it's Andy Clark running it in. Well, that's good tackling that by Glenn both there, and the first man who stopped him, Gary Price. Now number 10 there, Keith England, but Peter Smith wrapping him up, wraps them big arms round him. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. Now it's John Johnny, can he work some magic up? John Johnny back inside there. Number 12 there, Keith England throwing that ball back there to Graham Stenman. And Graham Stenman there trying to throw that one arm pass behind him there to Gary French, and Chris Bibb dropping on that loose ball. Now it's Terry Fox with the ball now there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales here taking this defence on, slipping there. But Ian Smales there tackled on his feet, Graham Stenman, and number 10 Keith England. Now it's Glenn Bell there trying to jump out of tackles. Kevin Bainmore there makes the tackle. Now it's Gary Price's turn. Gary Price, that's good running that by Gary Price, but tackle once again Keith England straight round the ball laces. Picks him up, dumps him on the floor. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Peter Smith. But Peter Smith there, John Joyner there picking him out. That's good tackling by the Castleford number 13 on his opposite number. So it's Jeff Jace with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that big kick upfield. What a brilliant kick that by Derek Fox, and the ball's rolling and rolling, rolls into touch. About 20 yards from that Castleford try line. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. Referee not happy. Ball in. Derek Fox seemed to get that ball from the scrum, but the referee says put it in again. So the ball's in. This time it's out to Featherstone Rovers. Derek Fox there to Ian Smells there to Eva the Party. Eva the Party taking them on down the middle. Just couldn't do nothing with that. Featherstone Rovers already set a defensive blanket up. Now it's Paul Newell there trying to go down the middle, running back into forwards. Paul Newell must straighten up. Paul Newell trying to go through the middle there. Just couldn't get that ball up. Now it's number 10, Glenn Bell, running it in. But Glenn Bell tackled by his opposite number there, Keith England. Just about 20 yards from that Castleford try line. It'll be Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox losing that ball. Castleford possession. Graham Stenman diving on that loose ball for Castleford. Now it's Gary French kicking that ball down the field. And that's on the second tackle. Gary French there playing for position. Scrum down 15 yards. Inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. Gary French kicking that ball there on the second tackle. So it'll be Castleford's head, Featherstone Rovers put in. Referee just bringing ball sets of forwards there. So there we are, Derek Fox feeds us coming, it's out to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there taking Graham Stenman on. But Graham Stenman sticking to his task, making the tackle. Now it's Peter Smith out of the pack very quickly. Peter Smith taking him on back inside there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb going down the middle. Chris Bibb going down the middle there to Ivor Party. Ivor Party there taking him on to Paul Newell. Paul Newell there to Barry Drummond. Barry Drummond there to Derek Fox making the extra man. That's good play by Featherstone Rovers. Paul Newell of Ivor Party and Barry Drummond. So it's Derek Fox now. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there in no man's land there to Jeff Grayson there. And who's this time? Who's knocked on? I think it's Gary Price. Once again, Featherstone Rovers angling, letting them down. And they've got Castleford 6s and 7s there, extra men outside. So it'll be another scrum down on that Castleford 25-yard line. It'll be number 7 there, Gary French, to feed the scrum. The ball's in, this time it's out to Castleford. Gary French with the ball now, working the blind side. Well, this time going nowhere there, Derek Fox there making the tackle. So it's Sean Irwin there trying to come from acting halfback, but Derek Fox there making the tackle. So once again Castleford, David Pan just turned to try to run out there, but that's good tackling there by Glenn Bull. That's the third tackle. So this time big surge here now from Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward through one tackle. And referee there right on the spot there. Penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. Referee saying Castleford forward there. I think it was Kevin Ward there going in with his knee on Jeff Grayson. So penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. So once again Featherstone Rovers pressure on this Castleford defence, still trailing by 10 points to 4. So Glenn Bell with the ball now. Glenn Bell will strike towards that try line. Scorer Featherstone Rovers' first try in this match. Gets up, plays the ball. Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox there, back to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson just couldn't get that ball away in the tackle. That's good covered defence by Castleford there. John Joyner and Gary French. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there trying to go down the middle, but Keith England there in the way. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it's Gary Price with the ball now. Gary Price throwing that ball in no man's land again. So it's Peter Smith there. And once again, Featherstone Rovers looking a bit disorganised at this moment. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox back inside there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson back inside there to Trevor Clark. And that's gut tackling once again. Number 11 there, Martin Kettrick. Same the day for Castleford. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now. That little kick through, it's all on Steve Allard after that ball. But Steve Allard pushing that ball dead there. Paul Newell ready to pounce on that loose ball. So it'll be a drop out to Castleford from underneath their own post. I'm sure Graham Stenman will try to gain as much ground advantage he can with this ball. Seems to be taking his time going across. Game's just about 35 minutes old in this first half. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. So here we go, Graham Stenman, big buck downfield. Marvellous kick that by Graham Stenman. Mark Napper there taking that awkward bounce of ball about 15 yards inside his own half. Mark Napper there just bringing play up to the halfway line. Good tackle there by Sean Irwin. So it's Derek Fox now in possession now. Derek Fox trying to go down the middle. Derek Fox still going. Derek Fox there getting that loose ball away there. Referee saying that ball going back. Gets up, plays the ball. So it's Glenn Bell now. Glenn Bell, ball back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there to Gary Price. Gary Price trying to go down the middle. Throws that long ball out there to Glenn Bull. Glenn Bull there to Paul Newell. And Paul Newell there. Well done, Barry Drummond, keeping Paul Newell in there. Referee there pulling them back for a forward pass. Much to everybody's surprise on this ground. And referee there just stopping play while Kevin Ward comes and joins this pack. Referee there says play on now. The ball's in. It's out to Castleford to Gary French. French there, now it's St John Ellis coming down the middle, but that's good tackling that by Peter Smith. Plays the ball to himself. St John Ellis on the run here, tried to push Derek Fox up, and still going. But Peter Smith there makes the tackle. Brilliant run once again by this winger from York there, St John Ellis. Every time he gets the ball, he's looking dangerous. Now it's Martin Kettis throwing that ball out wide, and it's all on. Paul Newell there trying to get after that ball, and it's all on, but the referee there is going to blow his whistle. The referee's blow his whistle, they've got to come back. I must say, the referee leaving it late, but I'm sure they were playing advantage to see if Castleford got the ball. Featherstone Rovers knocking that ball on Martin Napper. So it's a scrum down, 5 yard, 10 yard inside Castleford half of the field. It'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. It's still Castleford 10, Featherstone Rovers 4. A referee penalising the Featherstone front three. Not getting down properly in the pack. So there we go, Graham Stenman punches that ball into touch. 15 yard inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. It'll be John Johnny with the ball now there to number 10 Keith England, but that's gut tackling that by Gary Price, rolling him over. He's got to throw a tremendous amount of tackling this first half, Gary Price. Now it's John Joyner. John Joyner, everybody line off John Joyner. John Joyner there, that long ball out there, number 8 Andy Clark. And Andy Clark there to David Plange. And David Plange scores the try. And how many times have we said, when John Joyner's got the ball, knock him down. Nobody laid a finger on John Joyner, and he just did what he wanted, when he wanted, just ghosted through the Featherstone Rovers defence there. That long ball out there to Sean Irwin, and Sean Irwin there to Andy Clark. Andy Clark there back to Sean Irwin, and Sean Irwin there putting David Plange over, and he put the ball down where he wanted behind on that Featherstone Rovers try line. But once again, how many times have we said it? Full credit there to John Joyner. Just did what he wanted, when he wanted, and not a Featherstone man laid a finger on John Joyner. And that must be a killer blow just before half-time here. Featherstone Rovers had chances on this Castleford line. It must have been on that line about 10 minutes just prior to that try there. But here we go, St John Ellis strikes the ball. But this time he's missed the post. Castleford 14, Featherstone Rovers 4. So here we go, Featherstone Rovers got it all to do now in this match. Derek Fox kicking it off. Number 2 there, David Plange just scored the try there. Picks it up. Trying to take Eva Aparte on, but Eva Aparte there rolls him to the floor. So it's Sean Irwin now trying to run across field there, but Trevor Clark there making the tackle. But Featherstone Rovers can't say they haven't had the chances in this match. They've been capped on that Castleford line prior to that try for about 10 minutes. Now it's Martin Ketridge trying to come down the middle, but once again Gary Price straight round the bootlaces making the tackle. Now it's Kevin Ward there taking Derek Fox on back inside there to Graham Stenman. Graham Stenman through the gap, Graham Stenman shrugging him up, Graham Stenman there, that little kick through, and it's all on Ian Smales after that ball. Ian Smales, can he get there first? Beautiful play that by Ian Smales. How he got back to that ball, there's only Ian Smales who'll know. He beat Steve Allard to the ball, he beat Graham Stenman to the ball. Now it's Chris Bibb there trying to come out in his own line. And there we go, the half-time out has just gone. After a brilliant, exciting first half, a try to Sean Irwin to open the account up, 4-0. Then that Glenn Bell barging try there to bring the scores to 4 apiece. Then that marvellous try there to Graham Stenman in the corner. Goal by St John Ellis to bring the score to 10-4. Then just there before half-time, John Joyner once again ghosted through the Featherstone Rovers defence to put David Plange in for a try to bring the half-time score here from Weldon Road. With all to play for in the second half, Castleford 14, Featherstone Rovers 4. The score at half-time, Castleford 14, and Graham Stenman kicking off, Featherstone Rovers 4. So there we go, Mark Napper taking that Graham Stenman kick off there, trying to bring it out of his own 25-yard line, but tackled about 5 yards short. Andy Clark there making the tackle. So Peter Smith there being wrapped up there by Sean Irwin. So once again, Mark Napper there from acting half-back, but Kevin Ward there making the tackle, but getting the ball out there to Trevor Clark. And Trevor Clark there making a meal of that pass there to Martin Ketridge. Bad mistake by Featherstone Rovers in this first minute of this match. Losing that ball there on the third tackle, so it's Graham Stenman with the ball now there to Tony Smith. Tony Smith there being wrapped up there by Paul Newell. So Graham Stedman now there to Gary French. Gary French there's number 10 there, Keith England. Getting that ball back there, so it's Castleford now, John Joyner. John Joyner there to Gary French. Gary French there, trying to come down the middle there, but Peter Smith wrapping him up. Making sure of the tackle. Now it's John Joyner there, switching direction there to Stevie Larder. Stevie Larder, that overhead throw, it's all on. And referee there saying a knock on, but to me it seemed to hit St John Ellis there on the ankles, but referee saying it was a knock on. So it's a scrum down halfway between the halfway line and the Featherstone Rovers 25-yard line. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. And just looking at Graham Stedman there, telling the St John Ellis there to get back for this Ian Smales kick, and St John Ellis took Graham Stedman's advice and getting back for that kick now, but Chris Bibb there chasing it up. So it's St John Ellis there inside his own 25-yard line, but Chris Bibb there making the tackle. So Graham Stedman aware of that more Featherstone Rovers there, telling St John Ellis there to cover the full-back position there when Ian Smales had got that ball. So Steve Larder there playing the ball to himself, trying to come down the middle, but slipping there just as Glenn Bell were going to make the tackle. So it's Keith England there behind Kevin Watt taking that ball, but Peter Smith there sticking to his task, making the tackle straight round the bootlaces. Now it's Kevin Bearmore there back to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman there kicking that ball upfield there, and it's all on. Chris Bibb there taking that bouncing ball just about on his own try line. Gary French there coming across to make the tackle. After one tackle, Chris Bibb after two tackles there, that little dummy. So Chris Bibb there trying to open his legs up there, but Gary French there making a good recovery, making the tackle. That's good running that by the Rovers number 1. Now it's Paul Newell there, but number 13 there, John Joyner wrapping him up. That's the second tackle. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there coming down the middle. Ian Smales there. That's good running by Ian Smales. Ian Smales opening his legs up. Ian Smales there taking the ball back inside there to Gary Price. Gary Price there scores the try. Absolutely magic stuff there by Ian Smales, the Rovers number 6. He opened this Castleford defence up there like a tin opener opening a tin of peaches up, and he went straight down the middle, and no one's backing him up. For my money, the Featherstone Rovers man of the match in the first half. That number 11 there, Gary Price, to plant that ball over that Castleford try line. Castleford 14, Featherstone Rovers 8. So there we are, but we can all get us breath back. Surely the best try of the match at the moment, but Featherstone Rovers still trailing. But how vital this goal kick is here from Mark Napper, and Mark Napper, no mistake this time, straight between the middle. Castleford 14, Featherstone Rovers 10. Now we've got a match on his hands here at Weldon Road. What do you think to that try then, Terry?
Just what we needed, that, John, straight after half-time. We ought to be well in front, actually, with chances that we had in first half, but I think we're still well in here with a good chance, and I still feel confident. I said it at the beginning of the match, I still feel confident that we're going to win this game.
Thank you, Terry, well done. So Graham Stedman getting this game restarted. Mark Napper there just taking his time, making sure no mistakes, because that ball must be like a bar of soap here. As I've said previously, heavy rain here all through the night, all this morning there, making handling treacherous. So it's either a party there trying to come down the middle, but Martin Kettridge there and Kevin Ward, them 2 second row forwards there making the tackle. So it's Trevor Clark there just losing his way there from acting half-back. So the ball back there once again to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there finding room to kick that ball downfield, but Stevie Larder coming for that ball there, trapping it with his feet, in playing safely, but Trevor Clark there sticking to the task, making the tackle. So Stevie Larder gets up, plays the ball to David Plans. David Plans having to cut from acting half-back there. David Plans using this touchline side, but either a party wrapping him up. It's still Castleford 14, Featherstone Rovers 10. Now it's Andy Clark. Beautiful tackle by Gary Price. He knocked Andy Clark back 5 yards there with that tackle. What a tremendous game Gary Price is having. Just come back from injury. And Glenn Booth there making the tackle. And referee spotting it, head-high tackle. But the referee there seemed to be a bit slow blowing his whistle that time. Looked pretty bad, but I'm sure that Gary French, I think he'll be okay. He wanted to get up straight away, but the Castleford physio says, no, stop down on the floor. So it'll be St John Ellis with the ball. I'm sure they'll try to put 2 points on the ball for Castleford. 5 yard inside. Featherstone Rovers half of the field. Straight in in the middle of the pitch, so I'm sure he's going to have a go at goal here. That number 5 for Castleford. Gary French still having treatment. So there we go, the referee wiping the clock off. The referee telling the touch judges go behind the sticks. I think St John Ellis there had to tell him to tell the touch judges to go behind the sticks. So there we are, St John Ellis there just gaining them extra few feet with that ball. The penalty should have been about 2 yards inside. Featherstone was out for the field. That ball there about 5 yards inside. Featherstone was out for the field. So St John Ellis here trying to put Castleford 6 points in front. Here he goes, strikes the ball. He's just struck it straight between the middle. Marvellous kick there by the Castleford number 5. Castleford 16, Featherstone Rovers 10. So there we go, trying to go, separating both teams. Well, what a thriller here at Weldon Road. The first clash was an epic cup tie, but St John Ellis there just trapping that ball with his foot, safety first. Like every other player on the field, like I've just said, handling's very difficult here in these conditions. So he takes the tackle there, Glenn Bell there trying to pick him up, but he was tackled. So it's Martin Kettridge there trying to come down the middle. There we are, penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. I don't know what's happened here.
5 minutes.
So Glenn both here getting sin bin in the sin bin. I just couldn't see what happened there. Could you see what happened in that incident, Terry?
Yes, I don't know which Castleford player it was, but Glenn Booth, clearly butted someone there, and I think that's why the referee sent him off.
So there we go. Calling off period there for Glenn Booth. So Featherstone Rovers down to 12 men. That's something they didn't want in this match. Already trailing by 16 points to 10. And just getting in front in the second half. Stevie Larder coming down the middle. Makes things all that more difficult now for Featherstone Rovers. Stevie Larder getting up to play the ball. So it's number 13, John Joyner again there. That long ball out there to Graham Stemmer. Graham Stemmer through the gap. Graham Stemmer there got Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin, beautiful play that by Graham Stemmer. Marvellous stand-off half play by the Castleford number 6 there. Just found the gap on this right-hand side there. Just drew the full-back Chris Bibb and just put Sean Irwin in for his second try of the match. Beautiful play by Graham Stemmer. Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 10. So here we go, St John Ellis here, right below us here, taking his time, 10 yards in from this touchline side, strikes the ball. We could get a good view of that from behind the ball, well wide. So it's Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 10. And that brilliantly executed try there. John Joyner threw a peach of a pass out there to Graham Stemmer, and Graham Stemmer there really showing his paces, cutting between two Featherstone would-be tacklers there. Drew the full-back there, Chris Bibb, peach of a pass there to Sean Irwin. And Sean Irwin there going unopposed there, putting that ball over that Featherstone Rovers try line. Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 10. And once again, Graham Stemman trapping that ball with his foot. Big kick downfield. That's good play that by Graham Stemman. He says, we'll play it in your half of the field. Now it's Chris Bibb there getting out of Gary French's tackle. Chris Bibb tried to come down the middle, but once again, Gary French there getting back to make the tackle. So it's Paul Newlove now there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales tried to come down the middle, but this time John Joyner there, number 13, makes the tackle. So it's Derek Fox there going from acting out back there. That long ball out there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there trying to get that pass out there to Paul Newlove, but Peter Smith there, well marshalled there by Graham Stemman making the tackle. So it's Glenn Bell with the ball now, just makes progress over the halfway line. Plays that ball back. Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Jeff Grayson there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Ian Smales. But Sean Irwin here flying in at the tackle there. That's good tackling that by Sean Irwin. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now. That little kick towards that touchline side. Beautiful kick that by Derek Fox. Finding touch halfway between the Castleford try line and the Castleford 25-yard line. It'll be Gary French to feed the scrum. Featherstone Rovers still lacking Glenn Booth, sent off in the sin bin 2 or 3 minutes ago. So different tactics here. Stevie Larder putting that ball in the scrum for Castleford. So Martin Ketch's there, trying to bring that ball away, just looking on the Castleford bench there, I just can't see. Tony Marchant coming on the pitch, I can't see. Gary French still on the pitch, but it looks as if they're making a substitution. Number 7 here, Gary French, looks as if he's going to come off. But still it's Castleford in possession there. Number 10 there, Keith England shrugs Ian Smails off, but don't shrug. So it's Kevin Beamwell now coming down the middle there to Stevie Larder, but that's good play by Castleford. Good tackling that by Trevor Clark, getting back. Stopping Steve Larder, so it's Graham Stenman now. Graham Stenman kicking that ball up that touchline side. Marvellous play, Graham Stenman. He started to dictate things now here at Weldon Road. Growing with confidence at every minute goes in this match. Graham Stenman, Castleford number 6. And there we go, Gary French going off the field. Number 14, Tony Marchant coming on. So there we go. So Castleford having to reshuffle their 3-quarter line-up. So it looks to me if Tony Smith's gone to scrum half. So the ball's in its heart for the Snovers. Derek Fox there to Ian Smails. Ian Smails there trying to push Graham Stenman up, but Graham Stenman making the tackle. As I was just saying, Tony Smith going to scrum half and Tony Marchant going in the centre. So there we are, Glenn Bell trying to come down the middle, but no way through. Castleford now really got the tails up, winning by 20 points to 10. Plenty of time to go though in this match. Derek Fox coming down the middle there, back inside there to Gary Price. Gary Price there trying to get that ball away, but Graham Stenman there picking that loose ball up. Looked like a little knock on there from Graham Stenman, but the referee unsighted, so it's Tony Marchant now trying to come down the middle, trying to get up, quick play the ball there from Tony Marchant there to number 9 there, Kevin Beamwell down the middle. Kevin Beamwell getting that ball up there for Keith England, but Gary Price rolling him over in the tackle. So it's Kevin Beamwell now there to John Joyner. John Joyner there, can he work a bit of magic there to Kevin Ward? Kevin Ward there throwing that loose ball out, but Derek Fox picking that ball up, and that looked like a back tackle there by number 3 Sean Irwin, but went in straight in with his knees there, but referee right over the spot saying play on. So Peter Smith plays that ball there. Number 9 there, Trevor Clark coming from acting half-back, but tackled by St John Ellis. That ball going back there, Chris Bibb having to retrieve it, coming out over his try line, Chris Bibb there. And that's good tackling by Castleford there, tackling Chris Bibb over his own try line from that low pass there by Derek Fox. So once again, Featherstone was putting pressure on themselves in the second half. About 15 minutes gone in this match. In this second half, it's Castleford 20, Featherstone 10. So it's Ian Smails now, that big drop out. Martin Ketch's here coming up to the halfway line, taking his out the ball, the last second, so it's all on Martin Ketch's running it in, but Peter Smith there making the tackle below, Ivory Party on top. The referee awarding the scrum, Martin Kedridge knocking the ball off. Martin Kedridge mouthing to the ball, the referee should have took him another 10 yards, but he didn't know. He's given the penalty where the scrum should have been formed. So it'll be Derek Fox. Gains touch just about 10 yards from short of that Castleford 25-yard line. Now it's Glenn Bell running it in. That's the first tackle, but being tackled there by number 8, Andy Clark. Now it's Trevor Clark now from acting half back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there to Ian Smails. Back there to Pete Smith, but that's good tackling. James Stenman there making the tackle. So the touch judge is on, looking, having words now with Sean Irwin. He's telling the Castleford players to get back. He wants to have a word with the touch judge. So Sean Irwin singled out. I'm sure this will be a penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. So there we are, penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. Sean Irwin there seemed to A late tackle, I think it was on Derek Fox off the ball. So here we go, Trevor Clark now there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell striding towards them Castleford posts. That's good tackling that by Keith England. Now it's Jeff Grayson's turn, ready to switch play now there to number 11 there, Gary Price. Nobody coming for that ball there off Gary Price. So it's Trevor Clark now from acting half back now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there trying to get his men going to Ian Smales. Ian Smales coming back inside. Ian Smales stole the gap. Ian Smales there going to that try line. But Ian Smales there seemed to sidestep then into Stevie Lyder. And the ball back now there to Peter Smith there to Gary Price. Gary Price back there to Peter Smith. But Peter Smith there being tackled there by Graham Stenman. So Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox back inside there to Gary Price. And you just think there that was another chance missed there for Featherstone Rovers. So it's Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox going for that try line. Paul Newell scores the try. Paul Newell about to that ball like a wisp of a whippet. Getting his hand to that ball over that try line to put Featherstone Rovers once again back in this match. Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 14. This Featherstone Rovers team will not lie down. And once again, this goal kick vital to Featherstone Rovers. It can put them 4 points behind. There we are, Martin Napper straight between the middle. Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 16. Now then, Terry, how's that for excitement?
Well, we're right back in it again, John. It's following a similar pattern to this first game that we played, the league match, John. And I still think, I've been saying it all through, and I still think we'll win this game at the end.
There we are. Comments there from Terry Mullaney. Castleford 20, Featherstone Rovers 16. Four tries to Castleford, 3 tries to Featherstone Rovers. And there we go, Lee Whiteley coming on for Featherstone Rovers, making his debut. And that's a bad mistake there by Ivor Party, letting that ball bounce there between his legs straight into touch. So once again, Featherstone Rovers pressured on themselves. And just looking round, I don't think Glenn Bull's come back from his spell in the sin bin. I think Lee Whiteley's come on the field for Featherstone Rovers to make his debut. What a debut to make. What a match to make his debut in this Yorkshire Cup semi-final replay there. Straight in the thick of things there. Making the tackle there on number 11, Martin Kettridge. Well, just looking down, Derek Fox there, looking in, but Trevor Clark pitches that ball for the Rover to Paul Newell. Paul Newell having to come back inside. And just looking at Featherstone Rovers physio there, Dave Sharp giving Derek Fox a bit of sponge there. Derek looks okay. That's one man who won't want to go off the field. Now it's Ian Smales here, juggling the ball back inside there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark there, dummying one way. But Trevor Clark there, dummying there, being pushed back about 10 yards inside. Featherstone Rovers out of the field. It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Castleford 20. Now it's Derek Fox. Now Derek Fox kicking that ball downfield. David Plange after that ball, but brilliantly took there by the Castleford number 2, telling Steve Larder to come inside of him. Coming up this wing side, that's David Plange. He's on the flyer, going down the middle. David Plange running into his own men. That's good play that by David Plange, but Lee Whiteley makes the tackle. So it's John Joyner now. John Joyner there to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin trying to use his touchline side there, but Peter Smith there and Derek Fox. Peter Smith below, Derek Fox grabbing hold of the ball there, making the tackle. So it's Kevin Beardmore now acting half back there to John Joyner. John Joyner now to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward there, but Lee Whiteley straight round the ball isolations. That's good tackling by the Rovers, number 15. So it's Kevin Beardmore now there to Graham Stenman. Graham Stenman straight down the middle. Graham Stenman on the fly there to Stevie Larder. Stevie Larder there taking Crispy on book. Crispy there, beautiful tackle, gets that ball out there to Sean Irwin. Sean Irwin there taking Ivor Party on, but that's good tackling by Martin Napper. Plays the ball back, now it's David Plange there to Keith England. Keith England back there to David Plange, but David Plange being tackled there, but not before he gets that ball out there to Graham Stenman. Graham Stenman, that little kick through, it's all on, but beautiful take there by Derek Fox. And once again, Featherstone Rovers can live again. I'm sure they tried to Castleford there at that venture in the game would have sealed this match, but still it's Featherstone Rovers 16, Castleford 20. And Glenn Bell slow to get to his feet there. Jeff Grayson there, still coming down the middle. But Keith England there knocking him back, but Jeff Grayson sticking hold of that ball. Once again, Lee Whiteley gives that ball back there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, that big kick downfield. And the ball's bowling and rolling. Barry Drummond after that ball, but St John Ellis there picking that ball up. And it looked like obstruction to me. Stevie Larder on Barry Drummond. But referee right on the spot saying play on. So it's Castleford possession now, just inside their own half of the field. John Joyner with the ball there, trying to go through. But Peter Smith there wrapping him up. Every time John Joyner gets this ball, your stomach turns, thinking he's going to do something with the ball. And beautiful tackle once again by Peter Smith there on Sean Irwin. He thought he would throw the gap. Everybody on this field did except for Peter Smith. He brought a marvellous tackle off yet again. Now it's James Temman with the ball. Now Castleford. Oh, what a beautiful tackle by Trevor Clark. And that ball going back. Alan Martin there picking that ball up. Tony Martin, I should say. Alan's his dad. And Tony Martin tackles. Get that ball back inside there. Kevin Baymore there to Johnny Joyner. Johnny Joyner trying to go down the middle. Beautiful ball there to Tony Smith. And John Joyner's done it again. Well, Castleford, you ought to give the freedom of the city this is number 13 there. John Joyner. Absolutely peach of the pass there by John Joyner. All started once again with that big kick downfield there by Ian Smales. Barry Drummond seemed to be impeded when he was going to tackle. Stevie Ladd for the ball. The referee says play on, and from that, Castleford just comes straight down the middle of the field. First it was Tony Marchant, then it was John Joyner, and finally that pass when John Joyner seemed to be tackled with 3 or 4 men round him, putting a peach of a ball up there for Tony Smith there to skate unopposed underneath the post, to put surely this game beyond Featherstone Rovers' reach. But how many times have we said that in the past? Castleford 24 with this conversion to come, Featherstone Rovers 16. So here we go, Graham Stenman taking back over kicking duties in this match. Straight between the middle he goes, yes, 2 points for Graham Stenman, 2 points for Castleford. Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 16. So here we go, number 15 here coming on for Castleford, Dean Sampson. I just can't see who's going to offer. Ooh, and that one earlier, bad mistake there by Sean Irwin. And David Planch taking that ball there, nearly stepped into touch, but touch was right there. We could all see that. He kept well in play there, David Planch. A bit of luck there for Castleford. So it's Dean Sampson there in the thick of things straight away. He'll run it in, will Dean Sampson. And Glenn Bell there making the tackle. Now it's Castleford now. Keith England now. They've got the spirits up now, Castleford. Keith England there trying to come out his own play there with the ball, but Featherstone Rovers pinching that ball there in the tackle. I think it's Glenn Bell who's got that ball for Featherstone Rovers. It's Peter Smith, Lee White of Acton up now there to Derek Fox. Ball back inside there to Gary Price. And number 12 there, Keith England. Kevin Ward there going across. Referee says chest high tackle, so it's Lee Whiteley going from Acton up there, but Kevin Ward there getting across, making the tackle. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Jeff Creation. Ball back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox out to tackles there, just going to pass that ball, but he knew he was tackled. That would have been a penalty to Castleford. Now it's Trevor Clark now there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales there dancing on one step, but no way through this Castleford defence this time. Castleford watching Ian Smales like a naught now. So it's Derek Fox, that little kick through. Stevie Larder going for that ball. Beautiful take that by Steve Larder. Crowd really appreciating that by the Castleford fullback there. Never took his eye off the ball. Now it's St John Ellis there trying to come. So referee saying get up and play the ball. Tony Marchant now taking Ian Smales on, but Ian Smales there making the tackle. It's still Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 16. So it's Dean Sampson now. Dean Sampson there making about 10 yards before Featherstone Rovers man got to him. So there they're going. Featherstone Rovers turning the backs there. And it's Kevin Ward there to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward, beautiful tackle by Chris Bibb. The referee awarding the forward pass. But all that resulted in the man coming up down the middle of the field. A Featherstone Rovers player there turning his back on play. You should never do that in any game. Now the ball there back to Chris Bibb from that pack. Chris Bibb trying to come down the middle, but tackled there by his opposite number there, Stevie Larder. Gets up, plays that ball in, Smales with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox looking for runners. Well, Derek Fox having to go solo there, tackled about 2 yards from the halfway line. So Lee Whiteley now from Acton back there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there, that little shimmy there to his right hand side, but Andy Clark there making the tackle. Lee Whiteley from Acton back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that little kick through. It's all on, and that's a bad mistake. That's a knock on. So it'll be a scrum down once again. That 2 yard inside Castleford half of the field. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. It's still Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 16. And the ball's in, it's active for the Rovers. Ian Smells with the ball there. Ian Smells there, trying to take his opposite number on. Ian Smells through the gap. That's good running by the big number 6 there for Featherstone Rovers. So it's Eva the party now, taking the defence on. Eva the party, trying to strain up, being tackled there, not beyond. Cody got that ball out there to Gary Price. Gary Price there to back inside there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there taking the ball. Chris Bibb there to Mark Napper. Mark Napper turning David Plant inside out. Mark Napper has he scored the try. Mark Napper scored the try.
You're not doing anything with the bloody outfit. You're doing it in front of them.
So here we are, Mark Napper trying to convert his outer. What a brilliant touchline kick by Mark Napper. Featherstone Rovers 22, Castleford 26. Now we're set for the final 10 minutes. What a match we've got on his hands here now at Weldon Road. Graham Stedman now getting ready to get this ball into play. Eva the party, no mistake this time, taking that ball, taking it in. Eva the party trying to come down the middle. Absolutely brilliant scenes here at Weldon Road. And the sun's shining now, 10 minutes to go. Lee Whiteley with the ball now, trying to come down the middle. Lee Whiteley getting out to one tackle. That's good play by the Rovers, number 15. So it's Peter Smith now with the ball there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson there, nearly through the gap, but Keith England there keeping hold of him. So it's Lee White with the ball now there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell there dancing out to one, dancing out to 2 tackles, but just couldn't get that ball inside there to Lee Whiteley. So it's Lee Whiteley now from acting half back. Lee Whiteley there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there coming down the middle, throws that ball back. It's all on Chris Bibb with the ball now, trying to go through. He had an hand in that Mark Napper try. Chris Bibb through that overhead pass. So it's Trevor Clark now there to Derek Fox, back inside there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark over his legs. Oh, the referee's in the way. The referee there surely spotted an absolutely fantastic chance for Featherstone to draw matters here in this match. So there we are, the ball's in the scrum, it's hard to Featherstone. It smells there, taking up another that long ball out there to Paul Newell, but Paul Newell there, tackled there by Tony Marchant. Now we're the Featherstone Road. Ian Smells there trying to go from acting halfback, but John Joyner there wrapping him up. Ian Smells there wise not to pass that ball. He was already tackled, so it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Chris Bibb, but once again Graham Stedman there picking his man out, making the tackle. So it's Peter Smith with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox now starting to buzz now in the Featherstone Rovers blue and white shirt. But Castleford sticking to the task, so it's Lee Whiteley with the ball now there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark there to Ian Smell. Ian Smell's there taking this number 10 on Keith England, but Keith England sticking to the task, making the tackle. You just feel that any minute now this game's really going to explode. So it's Derek Fox, that little kick over, it's all on. And Andy Clark there, beautiful take that by the big number 8 there for Castleford. Never took his eye off the ball. Took that little kick through there like a veteran. Andy Clark, signed on from Wakefield Rugby Union during last season. Once again there, that man there, Gary Price, shoving the Castleford man there back way with the ball. So it's Kevin Bademull there now to Martin Ketridge. Martin Ketridge trying to come down the middle, but Glenn Bell there making the tackle. Just about 7 or 8 minutes left in this match. It's Kevin Bademull trying to come down the middle. Well, that's good tackling that by Peter Smith. Now it's Dean Sampson with the ball now there. The ball back now there to John Joyner. John Joyner there, back there to Dean Sampson. Dean Sampson trying to come down the middle. Dean Sampson out of tackles, but Glenn Bell there trying to make that tackle. Oh, and it's obstruction. But it doesn't matter because Featherstone Rovers have got the ball, but that was a blatant obstruction. But referee says get up and play the ball. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now, but James Stedman were miles offside there, but Jeff Drake got that ball back there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there trying to come down the middle. Chris Bibb still going, but Kevin Ward there getting across to make the tackle. Brilliant ball that by Jeff Grayson, putting Chris Bibb through. Now it's Derek Fox with the ball now. But to Jeff Grayson there, back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there, back to Paul Newell. Paul Newell there having to go across. But Graham Stedman there, wrapping Paul Newell up this time. So it's Lee Whiteley now there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell back there to Ian Smells to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Gary Price. Gary Price there trying to get that ball up, it's all on. Castleford there knocking that ball down in the tackle. Now it's Tony Martin trying to come down the middle. Tony Martin tried to open him up. Well, what a game here at Weldon Road. Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 22. Now still Steve Larder there going from acting half back there, but Jeff Grayson there just coming across to make the tackle, but Stevie Larder had already tripped. Now it's Kevin Baymore going from acting half back, back inside there to Dave Sampson. And once again, Featherstone Rovers there lapsing at acting half back. Kevin Baymore finding flaws in that defence, and once again Stevie Larder going from acting half back. Stevie Larder still going, Stevie Larder turning round, twisting. Well, this time there, Trevor Clark making sure. And Stevie Larder slow to be getting to his feet. So Kevin Baymore now there to John Joyner. John Joyner, that little kick throw, but John Joyner there kicking that ball into touch, so it'll be a scrum down 10 yards from that Featherstone Rovers try line. It's still Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 22.
Has he penalised them this time?
So the ball's in its heart to Featherstone Rovers. Ian Smells with the ball now, taking Graham Stedman on, but John Joyner there getting out of the pack very quickly to help Graham Stedman out, making the tackle. And that's a bad mistake that by Derek Fox. Knocking that ball on the second tackle. Now here's a chance for Castleford. A scrum down 15 yards short of that Featherstone Rovers try line. This time it'll be John Joyner to feed the scrum. And the ball's in. Gary Price there out of the pack very quickly, but the ball was already out of the scrum. So it's Martin Ketches there going for that try, and Martin Ketches losing the ball. And the referee spotting that, another knock on. That's a little for Featherstone Rovers. That coming on the second tackle. So it's a penalty kick now to Featherstone Rovers. John Joyner mouthing at the referee. Was it John Joyner or somebody mouthing at the referee? So there we are, Derek Fox putting that ball high up in the stand on the gantry here. So just about 4 minutes left for playing this match. So it's Glenn Bell there trying to bring that ball up to the halfway line, but Kevin Ward there making the tackle. Lee Whiteley now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox down there to Ian Smells there to Peter Smith, but Peter Smith there tackling possession. Featherstone Rovers losing ground with that moment. Now it's Gary Price trying to come down the middle. Gary Price there willing to get a ball out there one-handed, but Trevor Clark there just overrun him. Now it's Peter Smith there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox sees the gap down the middle. Derek Fox halfway through the gap, but Martin Ketches there smothering man and ball. So it's Lee Whiteley there to Peter Smith, back inside there to Ivor the Party. Ivor the Party trying to open them legs, but that's good tackling by Castleford. It's Lee Whiteley from acting half back now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that big up and under, it's all on. Who's underneath this ball? Who's going to jump for it? And it's a bad mistake. And no, Newell. Oh, Paul Newell. Oh, get it, Paul. Oh, Paul Newell scores the equalising try for Featherstone Rovers. Stevie Larder there jumped for that ball, and Stevie Larder for once in this match made a right mess of it, and the ball there dropping there for Paul Newell, who just shrugged a tackle off there to go over on a post in the corner. And then Castleford players' heads, Andy Clark there putting his head to the floor, but he'd no reason to do that because Featherstone have only come back from being 26-16 down. Listen to this score: Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 26, with this conversion yet to come from Martin. I've just got my breath back. I just can't stop shaking here. Absolutely unbelievable scenes here at Weldon Road. And has there ever been a kick in Martin Napper's life more urgent than this? Has he got the height? And he's got the ball! Oh, Martin Napper! You put Featherstone Rovers surely to the Shorter Cup final. Look at them scenes behind the posts. Absolutely magic stuff here at Weldon Road. Castleford 26, and wait for it all, you Featherstone Rovers supporters. Featherstone Rovers 28. And surely Featherstone Rovers don't want no mistakes now. And so that's good tackling that by Keith England. Pushing Featherstone Rovers back. Lee Whiteley there. Now Glenn Bell taking that ball. Glenn Bell trying to run it out, but no way through. Castleford still taking. And that's a bad mistake.
Offside there though, John.
It's a bad mistake there by Glenn Bell. Trying to tap that ball to himself, and once again pressure on this Featherstone Rovers defence. Once again John Joyner to feed this scrum for Castleford. Just about a minute and a half left for playing this match, and the ball's in the scrum out to John Joyner there, to Graham Stemman there, to Stevie Larder. Stevie Larder there to Mark Napper there. Mark Napper. Oh, Mark Napper there. Well, if I see Mark Napper in the pub tonight, if Featherstone win this match, I for one will buy Mark Napper a pint. So Derek Fox with the ball. Absolutely, I won't buy him a pint, I'll buy him a gallon. And Featherstone Rovers now coming out to the home field. Chris Bibb there, he'll take the ball in. Chris Bibb there halfway through the gap. That long floating ball there, trying to find David Plange, but Mark Napper intercepting that ball. Now it's Gary Price, skilled, he knows. Gary Price, you can't tell him how to play this game, he knows just to drive that ball down the middle. Oh, and what scenes here at Weldon Road. We've got the blue march here, Peter Smith going down the middle, trying to get that ball up. Absolutely magic stuff here from Featherstone Rovers. I said they would out, but there wasn't counted out. Oh, Derek Fox to drop goal attempt, it's all on. And who's back there? Jeff Grayson diving for that loose ball. Sixth and last time.
It's it there, man. Charge down.
So it's all on now. Keith England coming down for Keith England losing the ball, and it's all on. Mark Napper. Mark Napper there just picked that loose ball up. It's still Castleford 26, Featherstone Rovers 28. Pete Smith trying to come down the middle. All this for a place in the Yorkshire Cup final 2 weeks today. And we'll see some fireworks on that day, November the 5th. It's Bradford Northern, who will they play? Featherstone Newcastle, just into them Featherstone Rovers supporters. Glenn Bell there, driving that ball in. And I'm sure if the altar went, I don't think the referee could hear it. Now it's Lee Whiteley trying to come from acting half-back. Just looking back there, Ian Smales getting ready to kick this ball down the field. The ball back there to Ian Smales, big ball downfield, Stevie Larder underneath it to Featherstone Rovers to get back there. It's all on Stevie Larder there, trying to come back in middle, but that's good tackling that by Peter Smith. Followed that kick through. Now it's Sean Irwin taking this defence on. Sean Irwin trying to come down the middle. That's good play by Sean Irwin, strong lad, number 3 there for Castleford. And there we go. Oh, what exciting stuff here at Post Office, Weldon Road. Featherstone Rovers down by 26 points to 16, and they've just clawed their way back. What do you think to that, Terry?
Unbelievable, John, we've done it again. I said all through, even when we were loads of points behind, that we were going to win this match. I knew before this game, I know the spirit that's here at Featherstone, and we've done it again, John. We're in the Yorkshire Cup final, and all credit to the lads and Peter Fox as well. Brilliant performance from Featherstone, and everybody here at Weldon Road is overjoyed, apart from the Castleford fans, of course.
Well done, Terry. So Terry's just summed it all up. Absolutely marvellous stuff here. I'll just go through the try scores for Castleford. David Planch try, Sean Irwin 2 tries, Tony Smith a try, and Graham Stemman a try. St John Ellis 2 goals and Graham Stemman a goal. The Featherstone Rovers scorers, Paul Newell 2 tries, Mark Napper a try, Glenn Bell a try, Gary Price a try, and 4 goals there to Mark Napper. And just look at scenes here at Weldon Road. This is it. How many times have I said it? A sight for sore eyes, and people will go away from this ground and say, how has Featherstone Rovers won? Well, I'll tell you how Featherstone Rovers have won. They've won with team spirit. Every man's played for himself. Even when they were down by 26 points to 16, they never let their heads go down. You could see Jeff Grayson, you could see Derek Fox, you could see Peter Smith on that field. You could see him saying, come on, you lads, to these youngsters, and that can only do Featherstone Rovers proud. Everybody who's wore a shirt today from number 1 to 15 have played their parts up, and just look at that, Featherstone Rovers, their players, going behind the post here, and once again they've got Derek Fox on the shoulders. Absolute marvellous scenes here at Weldon Road. But I still keep pinching myself to think I'm not dreaming. Absolutely marvellous scenes here. Featherstone Rovers at one point looked out, 26-16 down with about 20 minutes to go in this match. But like I said before, never ever count Featherstone Rovers out. Even if they're losing by 30 points, never ever say that Featherstone Rovers are out, because they'll keep trying to the final whistle. And it's proved it today. Well, have you ever seen scenes like that in your life? Marvellous scenes here at Weldon Road. Bringing tears to everybody's eyes here, all them supporters there. They've got their money's worth this afternoon. Just see the Castleford supporters going home with the heads bowed. But they've had their moments. They played in the last 4 Yorkshire Cup finals. It's the first time that Featherstone's been to a Yorkshire Cup finals in 1977. The last time on that occasion, Castleford beat them, so I'm sure revenge is sweet here for Featherstone Rovers here at Weldon Road. Peter Smith, the only surviving member to play in that Yorkshire Cup final. So there we are, Derek Fox there just trudging off the field. So we'll leave you with the final score here from Weldon Road. Featherstone Rovers 28, Castleford 20.